What are some of the lessons that you've learned during the COVID-19 pandemic? Besides learning new phrases like isolation, social distancing, washing your hands, and also wearing a mask when in public, and staying indoors during the forced lockdowns. Hi, my name is Riyaaz Safi, and this is Thinking Out Loud. Today I'm going to reflect on some of the lessons that I've personally learned during the lockdown. On a personal note, 3 weeks into the lockdown last year, I lost my mom. Those who know me will understand that this was a huge loss for me, as my mom meant the world to me. But at the same time, I also felt grateful that I got to spend quality time with her during those weeks. In those weeks, I made some of the best memories that will last a lifetime. The first meaningful lesson I've learned from the COVID-19 pandemic: family and friends come first. Before the pandemic, many of us may have taken human interaction for granted, but as restrictions were lifted, seeing those friends and family we could not see face to face felt so special. Perhaps in the future, many of us will leave aside petty issues and family politics. Take a deep breath. That's the second lesson I've learned. All is well. Remember how you use this phrase when you're trying to calm down a person who might be angry. The COVID pandemic has allowed a lot of us to take a deep breath and reset our clock. Slow down. I remember how I used to operate like a machine in the factory, getting up early, eating breakfast on the run, being stuck in traffic, losing my cool, getting to the office huffing and puffing, attending to your day's work, rushing back home to avoid the rush hour traffic, exhausted, not looking after my physical well-being, over enjoying dinner as it was possibly the first real meal of the day, watching your favorite TV shows or catching up on work, going to bed early because you're tired, getting up the next morning and repeating the exact same thing. In the back of my mind, I looked forward to those 3 weeks holiday or your leave, where you just go and leave and enjoy a late sleep in, a healthy breakfast, strolling along the beach and enjoying nature at its best. But hey, that's a few months away. It also forced us to slow down and reflect how we cope with stress. And this has resulted in the desire to be more mindful and also to look after our mental health and not just our physical health. Therefore, having a positive mindset is good for sound mental health. Life is about appreciating the small things. Some of us live in the past, while others worry about the future, not enjoying the present. Take a deep breath and relax. All is well. The third lesson: there's no place like the outdoors. While our homes may have become sanctuaries in a way we didn't anticipate, yet activities like gardening, hiking, or walking through the park, or just sticking your head out of the front door for some fresh air and sunlight, the great outdoors have remained a viable escape during the COVID-19 pandemic. The world may have ceased to exist as we once knew it, but nature, on the other hand, endures. As the saying goes, in nature, nothing is perfect, and yet everything is perfect. I am reminded of Richard Louv's book, Last Child in the Hoods, Saving Our Children from Nature's Deficit Disorder. It actually examines how disconnected children are from nature. Both children and adults have only gotten more hooked on digital gadgets and technology. The problem with that is that we spend more time in the electronic world. We are spending less in the natural one. According to a 2009 study, 93% of teens and 77% of adults were online. Kids aged 8 to 18 spend an average of 7.5 hours a day, 7 days a week, plugged into computers, TV, video games, music, cell phones, etc. This was reported according to the Kaiser Family Foundation study. An internet security company investigation found that more very young children can play a computer game and open a web browser to go onto the internet than swim or ride a bike. Yes, believe it or not. Meanwhile, there's been a steady decline in visits to national parks and a drop in hiking, camping, fishing, and hunting, or just enjoying the outdoors. Today, many children and adults suffer from what Richard Louv calls nature deficit disorder, reduced awareness, and diminished ability to find meaning in life around us. So we're always in search of happiness. So step out, breathe in the fresh air, and reconnect with nature. All is well. At number 4, hobbies are healing. I actually am going to tell you something about myself. I actually worked at the radio station on a part-time basis since I was in school. But last year, I decided to leave it as I felt I just needed a break from it all. However, being a creative person, I decided to work on something that was totally unfamiliar to me, podcasting. But you've worked on the radio. It must be easy, said people. My radio experience was totally different as we had a setup, we went to the studio, pressed a button, and boom, the magic happened. When we had nothing to say, we could play a song. Podcasting, on the other hand, is difficult in the sense that you have to set up your own recordings, book guests, record your show, edit it, follow up with some of the guests that decide not to answer their phones. What do you do next? Editing the final product, promoting it, and that's difficult as you need to convince people to listen in. Some will make excuses, others will genuinely support you, and thus the journey continues. So basically, almost a year back, I started in a workspace that was totally foreign to me. But throwing oneself in the deep end teaches you to swim at a really fast pace. You learn. I believe that having more than one hobby keeps the mind fresh and allows you to learn and develop new skills. Remember that when we were in the hard lockdown, sitting in your homes, it was content creators that entertained you with their cooking videos, exercising videos, painting, etc. Or some of them even dancing. Thank God I never tried that. 2 left feet. It's a bit impossible, isn't it? Our renewed enthusiasm has helped recharge our health batteries, not to mention build connections with our families. For example, the simple act of baking a cake with your family can nurture an important life skill as well as create a cherished memory. Lesson number 5. It is said that less is more, and also said that change is as good as a holiday. And it's common to associate positive change with the idea of gaining something. It's human nature to want more out of life, and if we want something badly enough, we'll make a change to get it. In our pursuit of happiness and fulfillment, wanting something better often results in gaining more, and that can equate to getting more stuff. The latest gadgets, the fanciest and the trending clothes. But there's a different way to go about creating positive change. Focus on creating more with less. Ever notice how good you feel when you spring clean your home or your office, giving away the things you no longer need rather than holding on to them for a rainy day? I might use this someday. I'm sure you heard that. Cleaning the dust from the air. Reducing the clutter in your life, both mentally and physically, leads to simplicity and clarity. It creates a likeness of being as good as any holiday. More room to move in your head and in your room, of course. And this idea of clearing away the clutter can be applied to both your work life and your personal life. Think about how much better your decisions are when your mind is clear, how much more productive you can be when your focus is as straight as an arrow, because there's no physical or mental obstacles getting in the way. And that's a wrap up of the 5 lessons that I've learned during the COVID-19 pandemic. A quick recap. Family and friends come first. Take a deep breath. All is well. There's no place like the outdoors. Go out and enjoy nature. Hobbies are healing. Find one and stick to it. Less is more. Give away the things you really don't need. What are some of the lessons that you've learned during the COVID-19 pandemic? Share those with us. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for listening to Thinking Out Loud. This is Riyaaz Safi. Until the next episode, take care of yourselves. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. Until the next episode, bye for now.